Husband, husband, wake up. I've got a wonderful surprise for you that I know you'll just love. You'll love it. You'll adore it. You'll cherish it. It'll make your day. No, no, not just 5 more minutes. I know what that means. That means significantly more than 5 minutes. I mean, I admit you do look cute when you sleep. But you look cute when you're awake too. So get up. Get up, get up. Come on out of bed. Please, husband. I beg you. Please, 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 please. Okay, my begging is over. I shall now commence more advanced negotiation tactics. If you get out of bed within the next 15 seconds, I'll give you at least one hug. Possibly more. Probably more. There we go. Spread your arms wide for me and hug. I hope I'm not too cold. I'd hate to make you freeze when you just left the warmth of your blanket. You, on the other hand, are so warm, it's just perfect. You can hug tighter, you know. My spine is still in one piece. Well, okay, the spine isn't one piece. Then I wouldn't be very flexible, but you know what I mean. Oh, sorry. Am I too tight? I'll let go. Now for the surprise. The surprise is. Dun dun dun! It's a snow day! And that's putting it lightly. It's like someone took the Atlantic Ocean, turned it all into snow, and then dumped it on us. And you know what that means? We don't have to go anywhere. Schools are canceled, work is canceled. The only thing that isn't canceled is our time together. So, come on. Let's spend time together. Let's do a couple things. We can play games affectionately with each other. I'll start. Let's play a guessing game. Guess how long I was watching you sleep.
Husband, I am shocked you would even think of that. Appalled. Flabbergasted. Do you really think I used my magic snow powers to cause this snow day just so we could spend the day together? Don't you know how much damage this ridiculously large amount of snow has caused? I mean, it must have caused so much damage, at least millions of dollars. Think of all the caved in roofs, or of all the lost labor hours due to workplaces shutting down. I'm innocent, despite any evidence to the contrary. But enough about that. You're changing the subject, aren't you? The real issue is how we're going to spend our day alone together. What game do you want to play first? Ooh, how about we have a staring contest? I mean, I know I have an unfair advantage since I can stare at you for hours without blinking. But tell you what, I'll play with a handicap. I lose if I blink once, and you lose if you blink 100 times. Or maybe we can play something else, like a memory game? Not to brag. Well, okay, maybe I'm bragging a lot here, but I am super good at memory games. I'm like an elephant. I never forget. For instance, I can recall the first and last names of every woman who's ever hit on you, many of which mysteriously developed hypothermia. They really should have dressed in layers and not those showy, provocative excuses for clothing. Oh well, happy little accidents. Ooh. How about we play some tag? Sorry, husband. I know this is another game that I have an unfair advantage in. After all, I'm so good at chasing you down. I did it all the time before we got married. Without any regrets, mind you. You gave my legs quite the workout. Look, see for yourself. Oh, with you staring at me like that, maybe you can beat me in a staring contest. Anyway, tag might be a bit much for you, since I'll never let you get away. I'll pounce on you like a tiger. My predator instinct is just too strong with you in my sights. Along with some of my other instincts, obviously. Ooh, but maybe we could use a handicap in this game too. This might even the odds a bit. I could wear a blindfold if you like. You still won't be able to get away from me. Nothing will let you do that. But it could give you more of a fighting chance. You know, it'd let you put up more of a struggle. That could make things more fun for both of us. And I'm pretty sure you'd love the sight of me in a blindfold. Though, even when I'm wearing one, I'd still be able to catch you from your scent alone. Your scent is just so unique to you. It's branded into my memory. It was like that very first moment I met you. Oh, but don't worry. That's not to say you smell weird or bad. You smell fine. Very fine. Sorry, what were we talking about again? Oh, right. My game suggestions. I'm really sorry, husband. I know I suggested some pretty childish games. Sorry. I know I'm a mentally very young child. I'm like a 12-year-old. But if you'd like, we could play a more adult game. What do you say? Like chess. I'm not too good at it, so I think it's maybe the only game we could play where you have a decently fair shot at beating me. I have made some pretty chess pieces out of ice for the board, though. They're in the freezer, actually. They're nowhere near as beautiful as the pieces I made of you, though, of course. But maybe you don't want to play any games. Honestly, almost anything we do will be fun if we do it together. Although, if you are up for a game, we could play Truth or Dare. I personally prefer being dared. Because you know I'm up for anything. But if you don't want to play any games, that's fine too. What's important is that we're spending our time together. We could sort of have an indoor day today. I mean, it can't be outside because of the snow. It's ungodly, which, let me just remind you again, is not my fault. But yeah, doesn't that just sound absolutely lovely? I have this whole list of things in my notebook that we could do. Of course, it's fun date activities. I have lots of time to write and brainstorm them because, well, I don't have many other things to do when I get lonely because I'm awake, but you're still asleep. For instance, we could watch a movie together. That's always a classic option. And of course, since I'm your loving and totally understanding snow angel, gosh, I just love when you call me your snow angel. That's such a cute and adorable pet name that you gave me. I just love it so much. But because I'm your loving and understanding snow angel, we can watch whatever movie you want. Seriously, go ahead and pick. You know I'm not controlling. But if you don't have any idea of what you want to watch, then might I recommend a horror movie? That way when you get scared of a monster or alien or whatever, you can just cling to me. You can put your arms around me tightly, or maybe rest your head on my waist. Or, better yet, I could pretend that I'm scared if you're feeling into that. Then I could cling to you and you get to act like a big, strong man protecting me. Whatever floats your boat. Whatever raises your spirit. In fact, if you'd like me to recommend a specific horror movie, then how about The Stalker of Ophir? Though, to be fair, even though everyone says it's a horror movie, I think it would be more accurately classified as a romance movie. I mean, the female lead was always watching the male lead to make sure that he was safe. She even protected him from all his alpha exes that could never love him like she did. And she even sent him letters and roses every single day. Even when he would try to move away again and again, which is actually kind of sweet. playing hard to get like that. It's actually just the thrill of the chase. The two of them are such a cute couple. No wonder they drew so much attention, even from federal law enforcement. Oh, I'm sorry, husband. I didn't mean to spoil it like that. Damn it. I don't suppose you could just forget everything I said. No? Well, I suppose we'll have to watch something else then. Assuming we still want to watch a movie anyway. Because we don't have to watch a movie, husband. There's so many romantic things we could do together. Like, how about we make a little time capsule? We could collect all of our memories together and put them in a nice metal container. We could even make it heart-shaped. Cliché, I know, but I like the idea. It'd be a monument to our love story after all. And our love story is really such a sweet one. We could even put one of those candy bars you like inside of the time capsule. Remember when the candy bar you liked was discontinued? They weren't making it anymore. And so you couldn't get your favorite candy bar any longer, and we can't be having that because you're the sweetest, most precious little darling in the whole entire world. And if you want your favorite candy bar, then damn right you're getting it. That's why I had to track down the old employees and interrogate them to find out how they made the candy bar when the recipe was such a closely guarded secret. We could even include the recipe for the candy bar in the time capsule as well. Though, maybe we could add a little addition to the recipe. At the end, we'd say, and the most important ingredient is a snow angel's love. God, I love that pet name. Snow Angel? I love it so much. I love you, I love you, I love you, husband. I just want to kiss you all over until you have more lipstick on you than eyelashes. But back to our time capsule. Our lovely, lovely time capsule that we can open together in 30 years or so. And I emphasize together because we'll definitely still be married together in 30 years, since we will never, ever separate. We were destined to be together for all eternity. And I will brutally crush any destiny to the contrary. Mark my words. But yeah, what else can we put in our time capsule, darling? We could put some photos of us together in there. Ooh, and what about a copy of our marriage certificate? I mean, the real one. Not the fake one I forged early in our relationship. I think an obvious choice is a copy of the first love letter I sent to you. We would have to get a very large time capsule for that though, because after all, remember how my first love letter to you was so many pages long? It was more like a love encyclopedia. I still remember you were all, oh, there's a package for me. And when you opened it, there were just pages upon pages of my pouring my heart out. Confessing to you, saying how much I loved you, saying all the things I love about you. Saying how I love your hair, every single last strand on your head. And keep and preserve it for all of time because every last part of you is absolutely precious and priceless and worth keeping and protecting. I still stand by what I said. Maybe we could even put some of your hair that I'm safekeeping in the time capsule. My love letter also talked about how much I love your fingerprint. Yeah, you must have been so confused when I first read about how much I loved your fingerprint. You did read my letter back then, didn't you? Well, I'm sure you must have because you're such a sweetheart. But I remember my letter just went on and on about how unique you are. How not only you're so precious, but that preciousness is one of a kind. You know, a cake can be sweet, but it's sweet like a cookie is sweet. It's not special, but you're different. You're special. Your sweetness could not be replaced or replicated anywhere by anything. And that sweetness, alongside all your other wonderful, unique qualities, is symbolized by your fingerprint. And that's why I love it so much. I even have a poster of your fingerprint. That's how absolutely splendid it is. There's even a picture of your fingerprint in the letter, so you could see it for yourself. How wonderful and how beautiful it is. Of course, there were many other pictures of wonderful and beautiful things in that letter. It was all about you, after all. For instance, your eyes. Your eyes are really just the prettiest in the whole world. I could just stare at them for, well, you know how long I stare at them. You've told me several times that it was making you uncomfortable. I'm so glad you can communicate with me like that. By the way, communication is key to any relationship. That must be part of ours. Though, I'm sure being bound by fate also is part in it. But back to your eyes, husband. They say that the eyes are the window to the soul, which must be why I love staring into them so much. It lets me look at your soul and see for myself that you really are my soulmate. No wonder I get lost in them, forever and ever, until you tell me, honey, it's time for bed, or whatever it is you say anyway. I can't really hear very well when I'm lost in them. Even after you're asleep and your eyes are closed, I still like looking at pictures of them so I can still stare into your soul. I'm so sorry, dear. Was I making you uncomfortable again? I was staring too intensely, wasn't I? I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Do let me know if there's anything I can do to make it up to you. Just name it. Like, how about cooking? In fact, there's a fun activity we could do together. There's so many ways we can do that. We could cook each other's favorite meals. I could cook you all your favorites. And don't worry, you don't have to tell me, because I know all of your favorites. After all, I keep track of statistics like how many times you ask me for a certain food, or how likely you are to finish a certain meal, or what percentage of food you'll leave uneaten for certain meals. Normal things that any good wife should keep track of. And as for me, even if you don't know what my favorites are, it's absolutely fine. Anything you make me is my favorite because it comes from you. I'll absolutely adore it, even if it's burnt. I'll approve of it, even if the FDA wouldn't. Or maybe we can make it some sort of competition. Like the ones we could see on TV. We can try competing to see who makes the same dish better. Or maybe we can each decide our own dishes to make. Ooh, or maybe one of us can make the lunch and the other makes the dessert. Wouldn't that be so cute? Although, you might be fighting an uphill battle against me here since I'm such a good cook. You have first-hand experience that I went all in honing my skills back when I was trying to seduce you with my cooking prowess.
It was a bit overkill in the end since you're not really the pickiest of eaters. But still, it came in really handy since you love my cooking so much. Which is good because I love cooking for you, husband. Especially since I don't have to worry about drugging the meals I make for you. I remember back in the early days of my cooking lessons, I focused on making meals with flavors strong enough to mask the taste of the drug instead of focusing on making the meals that tasted as good as possible. But then when I first asked you to come over to my place, you just agreed. I never thought in a million years that you would accept that easily. Since it turned out I never had to drug you, I just quickly switched out the meal I was going to give you with the backup one that wasn't drugged. Love can be funny sometimes. But yeah, you're probably not going to beat me in a cooking contest. Unless we judge each other's meals. Since I'm so biased in your favor, that should probably at the very least cancel out my superior cooking skills. Though, to be honest, it'll probably just grant you an automatic win. Though at that point, I guess it's not really a contest. So, how about something more cooperative? We can try making something together. Like, how about one of those smoothies where it's just 1 cup and then there's 2 straws in it for the couple to share? Isn't that just so sweet and romantic? Or maybe we could try baking. The two of us can make some amazing pies. Whatever you're in the mood for. But geez, all this talk of food is making me hungry. I could really go over some of your cooking right now. I want you to fill me up with your cooking. Or I could just cook for you. We don't have to overcomplicate things with cooking competitions or cooperative cooking activities or anything like that. For now, maybe I could just make you a snack to hold you over and then you can decide later. How about some shaved ice? Actually, you know what? Sorry, I make that snack a lot. You're probably tired of it. But can you blame me? I'm a Yuki Onna.
So, how about we roast some marshmallows over the fireplace? Wouldn't that just be so romantic? And since it's all snowy outside, that makes it so fitting. Maybe we could even cuddle under a blanket together. Ooh, and we can make that hot chocolate too. And not just the hot chocolate with the tiny marshmallows that immediately dissolve either. I'll get some extra big marshmallows to put in your hot chocolate because you deserve to be spoiled with a drink that is more marshmallow than liquid. If that's your preference anyway. Normal hot chocolate is also on the table here. What? What do you mean it's not cold enough for any of that? Wow, do you feel that? It feels like the temperature just dropped. Naturally, of course. Just enough to put us comfortably into a romantic cuddling by the fireplace temperatures. Again with your accusations, husband. I'm highly offended that you'd accuse me of using my magic powers just to lower the temperature so we could cuddle by the fireplace. But yeah, you're right. I'm guilty as charged. But it's too late now. You have to cuddle with me by the fireplace. The temperature demands it. Look, I even got out the 2-person bedroll for us to share, all set out by the fireplace. And look, it even has our favorite pillow. The one that says yes in capital letters on it. I'm glad you finally saw reason enough to join me by the fireplace like this. Although, I kind of feel guilty relaxing with you. Like, maybe we should be more productive and do some chores? Maybe I should be doing a load of laundry or something. What? Oh no, don't worry about me, honey. I'm fine. The heat from the fireplace isn't too much for me. Thanks for worrying about it, though. It means the world to me. It's so validating to know you're afraid the warmth is too extreme for me. But don't worry, I'm not gonna melt. The only thing in danger of melting here is my heart if you keep giving me those puppy dog eyes. God, I love you so much. I just want to kidnap you. But I mean, you're kind of already trapped here with me by the inclement of the weather, so... Mission accomplished? How's the temperature for you? I mean, you're not a Yuki Onna, so obviously I don't think it's gonna be too warm for you. But are you cold? If you'd like, you can wear my sweater. It's a bit too big for me, but I think it would be just the right size for you. A perfect fit. And we can always get some exercise if you're cold. That'd warm us up. There aren't too many ways we can exercise inside, but I could probably think of one. Well, just think about it, sweetheart. You know my offers are always open to you. Hey, can I play with your hair? Caress it a little? Thanks, husband. This means so much to me. And I'm not just talking about you letting me play with your hair. Well, okay, I am talking about that, but not just that. It's so much more. So much more. It's that you're always so accepting of me. I remember when I first visited your home. You were expecting someone to come over to fix your Wi-Fi. And I knew this, of course, because I was stalking you from the time I first met you until we finally got married. But since you were expecting someone to come fix your Wi-Fi, I took the opportunity to dress up as a technician and everything. I even bought a van and painted it with the logo of the internet service provider. And I paid a bunch of money to get an expert makeup artist also that I would have a good disguise and you wouldn't know it was me. It was a lot of effort, but it was all worth it when I finally got to step foot into your very home. And you invited me in so kindly. You let me use your bathroom and didn't even raise a big fuss when I was taking too long. Not because I was actually using it, but because I was just fangirling and hyperventilating a bit over being finally inside your house. And could you blame me? I mean, your toothbrush was right there. The very thing that touches your bare teeth. I wanted so badly to snatch it and take it for myself and cuddle it to sleep and everything else, but I resisted. I thought that would be too improper. Granted, I was masquerading as an internet service provider's technician in order to invade your home, but taking your toothbrush is where I draw the line. Then, you just watched me as I worked to fix your internet. I had to learn how to actually do it in order to be convincing. I didn't want my cover to be blown after all. Talk about devoted. I am, right? You know, I'm the most devoted wife out there. It's not even close. But then, as I was fixing up your internet, you told me... Do you remember what you told me? You told me, you know, if you wanted to come over, you should have just asked. I'd be glad to say yes. You didn't have to pretend to be a worker. I was so embarrassed. I wanted to run out of the room crying, but you calmed me down and assured me. You told me everything was okay, that you're not offended. You also thanked me for fixing the internet. Then when I asked how you knew it was me, you replied that the temperature dropped as soon as I walked in. It was so obvious in hindsight. I can't believe I didn't realize it then. But I guess it didn't matter in the end, because you accepted me. Because you always accept me. Even when I was being so unreasonable on our first date. I remember that was when we held hands for the first time. It was magical, breathtaking, and I never wanted it to end. I wish our hands could have remained intertwined forever. So, as soon as you held my hand, I froze our hands together. Sorry, not sorry. But even though a normal person should have been alarmed, to say the very least, you chuckled a bit. Then, you just made a cute little pun. You said, "It's cool." It was so corny, but it was also so sweet. You're always just so sweet. I remember when we were cuddling for the first time. I wasn't as good at suppressing my coldness back then, so you were shivering while you were cuddling me. You were freezing to death, but you still didn't want to let go, all because you didn't want me to feel neglected. You didn't want me to feel alone. And that's why I promise you I'll always return the favor. My sweet, sweet husband. I'll never let you feel neglected. I'll never let you feel alone. I'll always keep you company. Every single time. It will be my pleasure, because I love you. I know I say this a lot, but I really do love you. I'm not really sure how to properly put this into words, but I really, really love you. Every morning, every afternoon, every night, I never stop loving you, not even for a second. I loved you yesterday, and I love you tomorrow. If my love for you could be measured in some sort of unit, it would be calculated by some sort of machine. The numbers would be beyond trillions and flow off the screen. Every last mathematician would be appalled. If my love for you was a liquid, it would submerge the world. If my love for you was a gas, every last person would choke on it and it replaces the atmosphere. That's how much I love you. And I really do mean love. I'm not just talking about jealousy. I'd give my life for you. I'm not just being selfish or possessive in my love for you. But to be fair, I am the jealous type. I am so the jealous type. I wish I was the only one who had eyes so that I was the only one who could see you. I'm not even just talking about other women. I get jealous when even animals see you. I get jealous when a pesky fly on the wall sees you in its primitive, blurry vision. If I don't restrain my powers, who knows what will happen. I'm so jealous, but I restrain myself because I don't want to be an unreasonable wife. I don't want to cause you trouble. You're my beloved husband, and you deserve a life free of trouble. But I wish I was the only one who had ears. Then I'd be the only one able to hear your voice. Even if it was just to hear your voice. Even if I couldn't hear anything else. I wish I was the only one to have ears. Then I could have your sweet, precious voice all to myself. I'd be the only one to hear you say, "Good morning." I'd be the only one able to hear you say goodnight. I'd be the only one to hear you say, "I love you." Wouldn't that just be wonderful? Well, for me it would anyway. But I know it's unreasonable. It's an unreasonable fantasy for me to have you all to myself to that degree. But it's hard not to be that unreasonable and jealous when you're the best husband I could ever ask for. And I could ask for a lot. 'Cause you know how needy I am for you. Do you remember when we first got married? The first few months? I'd always ask you if you really love me. I was in such disbelief that you actually married me. Every morning when you'd wake up, I'd ask you if you really loved me. If you were just playing some sort of cruel joke on me. And I'd ask the same thing before we went to sleep. But you were always so patient. You never got angry. You never got annoyed. You just assure me, yes, I really love you. I love you too, husband. Especially when you put up with my neediness. Like in the mornings, I'll always beg you to stay in bed with me for just a few minutes longer. On hands and knees, I could beg you. And then after we cuddled for a few minutes, I always ask again. Just a few more minutes. You know how I get. You started setting your alarm early so we could wake up for some cuddling. That was so thoughtful for you. Thank you so much. You've given me so many reasons to love you, because there are so many things that you've done for me. And there's always ways I could repay you too. We still have so much of our day together left. We can spend it however you want. But if you'd just like to cuddle for a bit longer like this, then that's fine too. Anything with you is fine. Because I love you. I love you, husband. I love you. I love you. I love you.